Good to see all you guys. Happy to be in San Diego. Excited to play a scrappy, well-coached Wright State team tomorrow. That's about all I got for you.
It's hot, dude. Just getting right to it. All right, start over there.
Hey, Derek Togerson, NBC7 here in San Diego. What makes this place such a good tournament host and just kind of a good sporting event destination city?
Well, I mean, San Diego is obviously a world-class city. That downtown area is awesome now. And for us, as Arizona Wildcats, we got a strong alumni base in Southern California. So, I've also heard that there's lots of people that have a house in Tucson and a second house in San Diego, because with the weather and when we need a break from the heat, this is the place to go. So, for us, selfishly, it's a great location, and, honestly, we couldn't be much better.
Jason Shearer, Wildcat Authority. Tommy, right here. Was there a practice or a game where you kind of just said, okay, this team is really good? Like it kind of clicked?
I honestly thought we had a chance early, to be pretty good, but then, you haven't been tested yet. And for me, when we got in those first few home games and just feeling the force that we played with, I knew that was pretty unique, and it was a lot for these other teams to handle. And then when we got to Las Vegas and found a way to get through those two games and had stretches where we played really well, I thought maybe this team has something. And of course, I knew we were going to have to tighten things up and grow and evolve over the course of the year, which these guys have done an amazing job. I mean, each of our losses we've had, I think we've really learned from, and we've bounced back and played well and become a better team for it. Now, you don't want to learn from a loss. So, hopefully, we've grown enough to put ourselves in position to be a tough out.
Tommy David Kelly, KVOA. Early in the season, and when talking about opposing players, you refer mostly to knowing them by numbers. So, number 32, Peter Kiss, what impresses you about what he did in the first round, in the first four, and then just what you've seen on tape from him this season?
Well, I mean, he's not even on my radar now because he's done. So, I'm focused on Wright State. So, I mean, he's obviously a talented player for Bryant.
You talked about, this is Steve Rivera, All Sports Tucson. You talked about just the first practices. How difficult was the buy-in, if it was difficult, and did it take some time for them to believe in you?
I mean, I don't think the buy-in was difficult. Obviously you have to build personal relationships too, and that's part of it. I just think back to last spring. We started with, a lot of concepts. How to pass in a ball screen, how to set a ball screen, how to roll out of a ball screen, and I just started kind of building the concepts that are the foundational pieces of the offense. And then I think, the buy-in happens when guys feel themselves start to improve. And, none of these guys had much of an opportunity to play make last year. And now, they became, whatever. They led the nation in assists, which is a pretty amazing thing when you take a step back and really think about it. And so I'm proud of these guys for how far they've come, and it's been a great group to work with. And, I'm still coaching them hard on a daily basis, and they let me do it, so I'm thankful.
Justin Spears from the Arizona Daily Star. Coach, when you look at Wright State, what jumps out to you? Do you see any similarities to the way you guys play? And then also your scouting report on Tim Fink, their forward.
On scouting report on who?
On Tim Fink, number 24.
Oh, it's 24, okay. I would say the similarities are, they don't mind getting up and down the court, and they play with great fundamentals, and, they read and react to a lot of things in the game. 24, Tim Fink, he has a really close relationship with one of our guys on our staff, TJ Benson, because he started out at Grand Canyon, and TJ recruited him. So I think there's he's a tough, hard-nosed player, plays with great effort. He can play the 3 or the 4. He can make threes, which makes him a tough matchup. But I think more than anything, he's the guy that did a great job defensively on Kiss yesterday in that game. And, Kiss had, I think 28 shots to get 25 points or vice versa, something like that. So it was pretty impressive. So I'm sure he'll be on one of our better perimeter players tomorrow.
Chase Isidoro from KUSI Sports here in San Diego. Coach, you have a lot of European players on your roster this year. What kind of advantages do they offer you with their overseas experience?
Well, I love international players, and it'll probably, hopefully, always be a foundational piece of any program I'm involved with. I think, they have a certain basketball IQ and unselfishness that they naturally play with. I think when you put a group of them together and then you mix in some American kids, it becomes easy. And one of the things about European kids coming over at a young age, they're much more adept to being a role player and doing those role player types of things, because if you're 16, 17, 18, 19 in Europe, you're playing with men usually, and then those men don't let you just dribble the ball around and jack crazy shots. I mean, they make you set screens, they make you block out, they make you do all the little things. So those kids come over maybe with this a little better natural understanding of how to contribute to a team without scoring.
This side for the next two.
Dana O'Neill with The Athletic. Tommy, you've had some time to live with sort of being a head coach, of course, and I think from the outside people would say, oh, it's gone pretty easily for you. But what has surprised you kind of about moving into this chair and been the most challenging?
I think for me, I always tell people it's an easy answer. I love coaching and teaching, so that has been fine, and everything basketball wise that I've done, basically I've been a part of doing before. So I had a real comfort level and a conviction in what I wanted to do. The biggest thing for me has just been the amount of day-to-day energy needs. When you're an assistant, it's a great job and you work really hard, but you have built-in recruiting days, which aren't easy, but they're also you get to take a breath away from the group, little mini vacations here and there. You have every third scout, so you might scout really hard one day and then the next day you don't have anything, so you kind of take a back seat in practice. As a head coach, I got to be involved in all that stuff on a daily basis and all the game planning, and you don't get those natural time where you can just come up for air. So for me, that's been the biggest challenge. Has just been the day-to-day energy it requires.
Scott Miller from the New York Times. Tommy, given your history with international players, when you took this job and some of the international players Arizona already had, did it seem like even more of a natural fit than it might have otherwise? And if I could ask a follow-up.
Yeah, I think for sure. I was familiar with all the guys. Being out in the recruiting circles and and guys that I had looked at previously, and I think it really helped me retain a bunch of them. I think that's the one thing people don't talk about in college basketball today, especially last year was the first year that you get a job, everybody's a free agent. Everybody can transfer and play right away. There's no waiver needed. So, you had to really go in and re-recruit. I think it really helped me because those guys had a familiarity with me and my reputation, and I was familiar with them. So we were kind of able to jumpstart our relationships.
And following up on that, what is a key, if you had to pick one or two things in terms of connecting with the international players when you recruit them?
I think the biggest thing is just letting them know that you're going to be able to help guide them through this process. You know how difficult it's going to be. You know where the pitfalls are. And you're going to be able to support them. When they hit some adversity, because they're going to hit adversity away from home. And that's something that me and my staff are really comfortable with. Me and my wife are really comfortable with. To be honest with you, is dealing with guys from all over the world and kind of embracing it.
You're going to go here for the next two and then over there for the next two.
John Titel from hoopshd.com. When you face an opponent with a great scorer like Tanner Holden, who had 37 against Bryant, is your defensive philosophy to let anyone else but that guy beat you, or to try to beat you, or that he can score as much as he wants because he's only one guy?
Well, we'll play normal to start. They have other good players. I always tell you guys, I know Holden's number 2. And then I know they got number 0, the big guy, Basile or something. And then number 1, I can't remember his name, but I know he's really good. So they have other good players too. And so, in a single elimination game, I think you want to come and play solid and straight up and do your best to guard everybody well. And then as the game plays out, maybe you'll have to make an adjustment and tilt your defense more to one guy or another. But Holden's a heck of a player. He's a natural scorer, and he scores a lot of points, scoring 2s and 1s, which is really impressive.
Nick King from 3TV CBS 5 in Phoenix. Tom, you've obviously been a part of a bunch of deep tournament runs with a group that's largely new to this scene. What do you tell them about what is required to do that?
We don't have to do anything different than we've done this year. Whether, it was in the tournament in Las Vegas, around Thanksgiving, or the Pac-12 tournament. you go in and you treat it exactly the same. And you know, we've learned from each one of those, you know, games, and our guys have been great in the moment. So I don't anticipate anything different, and I don't think we have to do anything different. You know, and maybe that's the key, just to go out and I tell them every day, go out, most aggressive team wins, and let it rip.
Greg Hansen, Arizona Daily Star. Tell me, how do you see yourself evolving as a head coach the next 5 to 10 years?
Oh, wow. Now we're getting deep. You know, I would just say this. You know, I take pride in the fact that I think I've always grown as a coach. You know, and somebody asked me once, you know, if I had any regrets in my career. I mean, the only regret that I can think of is I wish I knew now. I wish, you know, back then I know what I know now, back in the past, so I could have helped those former players more. I just think, you know, I've had so many guys over the year, and I'm like, man, I'm getting better at coaching this now. I wish I could have taught it to this guy, you know, 7, 8 years ago. It could have really helped him. I mean, that's the biggest thing for me, and so I'm always going to challenge myself to continue to grow as a coach, and you know, I think I'll hopefully always be comfortable in my own skin, and I'm going to go, you know, coach from the heart, use my head, trust my instincts, and you know, I'm excited. I mean, like you, I want to see where the next 5 to 10 years lead, because I'm pretty excited about it.
Bruce Pasco with the Daily Star also. Tommy, with the guys, sophomores, CeeLo, et cetera, that were around last year, do you talk to them about, you know, the difference in having to sit out last year and this experience, or do you sense that it's anything that's making a difference with them?
I mean, the only thing I told our guys is yesterday we practiced at in an old high school gym, and it was loud and the backboards were dirty, and I said, guys, like, I mean, a lot of us started in gyms like this, or you know, Christian and Umar started up playing outdoors. So, you know, what would that kid back then tell the man you are now? He would tell him to go for it, and understand how far you've come, and be excited about it, and don't hold back, and go out and be excited for this moment and attack it.
And this is not really a follow-up, but the obligatory, how is KERR doing, and are you tempted at all, regardless, being as you got past Colorado and UCLA without him, to just let him rest for a couple more days?
Yeah, I'm going to give you guys the standard. It's going to be a game time decision, but I'm 100% coming from the heart. It's true. We'll see. I mean, he's made great progress. You know, I mean, I'm sure he'll be bouncing around out there a little bit today, and you know, we're going to. I mean, our goal was to push it, to see how close we could get him to playing, and I think he's close. And we'll see tomorrow what it looks like, and you know, it could be a deal where, you know, he may play, but he may not start, you know, and we'll just kind of take it from there and see where he's at.
Final question.
Tommy Joe, Radio AP. During your years at Gonzaga, did you ever have a team this young in tournament experience? And is there a benefit in that they basically don't know any better or don't have any tournament history to live off of or down?
I mean, I can't think of a team this young, you know, that we had, and yeah, maybe there is a benefit. I know, you know, Steve Kerr and I were having a conversation a while back, and he was just telling me how cool it is to go through it the first time, and you know, for him, you know, when they made that run to the NBA Finals his first year, and he just told me, you know, there's a beautiful innocence about it because you haven't been institutionalized yet. So maybe that goes for me and the team, you know, where we got a kind of a ignorance is bliss type of approach, and we're going to go out and we're going to be in attack mode because that's the way we've played all year.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. Good luck.
Thank you, guys.
It's a dry heat up here.